What's up, guys? We're going to talk about a scenario that, if this happens, would cause Terra Classic to have another massive pump within the next few months. So let's go straight into it. So starting out here, we're looking at the Terra Classic chart. And as for the short term, I think most likely we will continue this downtrend until we hit our support down around 10, and then we'll see a bounce there. And that could be our possible reversal point. But I do think it's possible that we may see another massive pump for Terra Classic within the next few months. And really, this depends on Bitcoin and what the Fed does over the next few months. So this depends on basically if Bitcoin can get a massive pump in the next few months, which, based on what the Fed's doing and what's going on with the banks, I think I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is likely to have a massive pump in the next few months. So let's talk about that. So going over to Bitcoin, we've been consolidating here for the past several days, and we formed a bull flag here, which if we break out from this, we could have a massive pump. Price target's way up around 36,000. So 35,000. So if we break out, that'd be a huge pump there. Now we do have resistance around 32. So, if you're going to trade that, you might want to take some profits there, but resistance at 32, but the full price target's 36, and 32 actually is the price target of this inverse head and shoulders, which we already broke out from. So may consolidate a bit there, but that's the bullish price target for the real short term here. Now, it is possible we could, if we break down from this support here, then we're likely to head down to 24,200 before we continue higher, retest this previous resistance and see if it acts as support. So I think that may be a more likely scenario that we retest this level before heading higher, but we'll see what happens. It's possible we could just keep heading straight up here. Now, what you have to keep in mind is why did we see this huge pump here? This huge pump was largely fueled by the banking crisis and the fact that the Fed was forced to create hundreds of billions of dollars. And if you look over at the Fed's balance sheet, and if you don't know how this works, basically when the balance sheet goes down, they're pulling money out of the markets. When the balance sheet goes up, they're putting money into the markets. And so, as you know, the past year, they've been doing quantitative tightening, pulling money out. Now, the last couple weeks, with this banking crisis, we've seen them have to inject a bunch of money back into the market. So, as you see here, the first week of the banking crisis, 300 billion, and then the last week, another 100 million. So they're continuing to add to their balance sheet, which puts money into the market. So we'll see. We'll see if this past week, I think this gets updated tomorrow. So we'll see if tomorrow again, if they added more to their balance sheet. We'll see if this continues, because if you look back here, let's get the full thing. All right, so this was March of 2020 when COVID first started, and as you can see, it started out gradual, and then suddenly, boom, we had a skyrocket of them adding to their balance sheet, basically putting trillions of dollars into the markets. And so question is, are we going to see another scenario like this where suddenly this heads straight up and we put trillions into the market? That could happen. And if that happens, then Bitcoin is going to take off like crazy. And I think we have seen just the tip of the iceberg with this banking crisis, and I think the Fed's going to have to keep creating more money and probably pretty soon even start cutting interest rates. So I think we're very likely to see Bitcoin shoot up to around 50,000 within the next few months, and maybe even higher if things really get bad and we see hyperinflation. We could possibly go to $1 million. There's very smart people who are convinced we're going to see hyperinflation and $1 million Bitcoin within a few months. So if that happens, then that'd be crazy. It'd bring up, the whole crypto market would go crazy along with Bitcoin. which would mean Luna Classic would also be likely to have a huge pump, because if the dollar is going down in value, then Terra Classic versus the dollar should go up in value. So that's what we're looking at. We'll see if Bitcoin keeps pumping straight up, and if Terra Classic can also see a huge pump from that. So we'll see what happens. Stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all later.